welcome to Real Truth Real Quick. My name is Rick Smith. I'm here with Todd Wagner. How you doing, Todd?
I'm well, Rick. Thank you. Hello, friends.
Well, good. Well, hey, listen. I saw on the web recently that there are a lot of boycotts out there. There's a boycott for Amazon, a boycott for Nike, a boycott for Wendy's. There's a recent boycott going on for Target. And so the question today is, should Christians participate in boycotts?
Yeah, it is a question that you cannot easily open your Bible and find a direct answer to. There's not verses on whether or not you should boycott somebody. What I want to say is that I would really encourage people to go back and watch a Real Truth Real Quick we did when Starbucks this last year came out with just a plain red cup, as opposed to some of the more seasonal cups that had, as we've observed, snowmen and reindeer on there. Yes, not so much in the previous years. The nativity scene, because it had never been on a Starbucks cup. There was a lot of discussion about that. And that, Real Truth Real Quick, has a lot of application to this. So we'll link to that on the bottom. But let me just say a couple of things. The Target one that's going on right now has a lot to do with a specific issue. That Target has specifically said that if anybody wants to, for whatever reason, they can use a different bathroom. And so you may be in that bathroom, or your daughter might be in that bathroom, or your son might be in that bathroom, and somebody may walk in that would make them feel uncomfortable. That isn't just hypothetical. That actually happened yesterday. Someone didn't even know we were shooting this today, and a guy told me yesterday I was at Target, and my 13-year-old walked into the bathroom, and she walked in, and there was a guy standing up and bringing his pants up. And so that happens. It does happen, and can happen in Target because that's Target's current policy. It's increasingly the policy that governments are imposing on society all throughout our land. So it's not going to be unique to Target long. Target tried to get out in front of that, though, and many believers felt like they should say, we should not support a company that's going to put our kids at risk like this and is going to be almost a social activist ahead of even the requirement by a government. I would also say that people should watch the Real Truth Real Quick we did on when Indiana and other states passed religious freedom acts, okay? And that's very relevant too, because some people would say, well, gosh, should we be able to tell people that they can't do things based on their own feelings? And aren't religious freedom rights acts a lot like Jim Crow laws? We answer that. And I would highly encourage them to watch that. That being said, I don't want to tell people what they should do. I think there is a biblical principle, and that is, in Romans chapter 14, verse 22, it specifically says, the faith which you have as your own conviction before God, okay? Happy is the man whose heart does not condemn him in what he approves. So if it's going to cause you to feel like you're dishonoring God, to walk into a place and support them when they're taking activists, progressive positions that are counter to the biblical worldview that you espouse, then you've got to work through that. I would just warn you that what you don't want to do is get out your iPhone and Google who doesn't have a biblical worldview as a company and then post on Facebook what it is that you're going to boycott, because you just went bing, bing, bing on 3 companies that don't hold a biblical worldview that you hold all the time. Make sure that you don't adopt convictions of convenience, all right? The Bible does tell us to be salt and light, to get out there and engage with people of a different worldview than us. And it's okay to interact with folks and even to conduct commerce with people who have different worldviews. The Target thing is a little bit different for the reasons that I already mentioned. You might feel like going there if you have a need to use the restroom while you're there. It might put especially a child into an awkward position with somebody that you don't want to. But on the boycott thing, let me just say this. There's a new website out called Babylon Bee, which is brilliant.
Yeah,
that as a public service announcement to our friends at Real Truth Real Quick, I want to just point them to. And I'm going to actually use this, right? And I'm going to read an article in Babylon Bee because it's pretty funny. Okay, and so here's the article in the Babylon Bee. It takes a fun run at Apple, specifically in terms of their boycotting of the state of North Carolina. And so here's what it says. It basically says that chuckling heartily while gesturing toward the news story displayed on one of his hundreds of Mac computers, King Salman of Saudi Arabia reported to his security detail Friday that he is really getting a kick out of Apple Inc. lecturing the state of North Carolina for enacting a law requiring people to use their public restroom corresponding to their biological gender. Look at this. This Tim Cook fellow is publicly chastising the governor of North Carolina, sending him threatening letters, ordering him to repeal this bathroom law, he chortled to several nearby bodyguards. Just 2 years ago, this same man was begging us for clearance to operate here in our blessed kingdom, where being homosexual is punishable by death, as it is the will of Allah. Honestly, does this man not know we publicly execute gay people? Here's what I'm going to say. It's one thing to take a parody run at Tim Cook for his absolute inconsistent ethic in saying North Carolina shouldn't be supported, but we want to go do business in Saudi Arabia, which is extremely more aggressive in the way they're dealing with this issue, just make sure that you're not doing the same thing. I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be really hard unless you grow your own corn, churn your own butter, and sew your own clothes. Probably to do business with some company that doesn't espouse the worldview that you want. That doesn't mean there's not time to take a stand, okay? But be very, very careful before you say, I'll never watch another Disney movie again. How about watching a Disney movie, okay, and engaging with people who work at Disney in a way that you can love them and show them that there's a better way. We don't want to impose our views on people. We want to propose a better way. So there's some things to think about. Make sure you have a consistent ethic and not an ethic of convenience.
So you don't have to go eat at Chick-fil-A and shop at Hobby Lobby every day. You can be okay.
Yeah, well, you'd eat good chicken and probably get really good product from really good people if you did. But I would say probably not exclusively.
All right. Well, hey, I'm going to put the links that Todd mentioned to some of the previous episodes that we did. We'd encourage you to check those out. You can find those if you're on YouTube in our description. You can also find those on realtruthrealquick.com in our show notes. And if you're watching this and you'd like to get our episodes in your inbox every single week, right now above you there's going to be a little button that says subscribe. Click that button and you'll get our episodes every week in your inbox. And we'll see you next week on another episode.